this chapter. The revelations, the mysteries. Now I understand what you guys were saying about chapter 42 is a big one. It most certainly was, and there is a lot to cover. Major plot points that could have incredible repercussions on the story, going into maybe even the final chapter. I don't know right now. Hello everybody, I am Phenom Sage, and welcome back to another Made in Abyss chapter review. Today we are going to be talking about chapter 42, Narehate Princess. Now I know I always do this, but before we get into this review, I need to give a huge shout out. Maybe not even a shout out, just an acknowledgement that this thing exists. A channel by the name of Mickle Pickle, I hope I pronounced that right, dude, has brought the entire Bondrewd fight to life with a soundtrack, sound effects, voice work, creative use of paneling, and even animated some of the manga panels themselves to create like just this incredible experience of watching this fight, this Reg versus Bondrewd fight, unfold in a really cinematic and cool way, even more cinematic than it was in the original manga. It is just so cool, and I needed to shout it out here because it is not getting the attention it deserves right now. That deserves to be in the thousands of views. That was amazing, and hopefully from the clips that I'm showing on screen right now, you realize, oh shit, this is actually really cool. So a link for that will be in the description. I know you guys will love it because I loved it so much. Mickle Pickle, dude, you did an awesome job, seriously. With that out of the way, let's get into this chapter and just everything that occurred in this chapter. My god. Now there are three main plot revelations that I really want to focus on in this chapter, and it is the end of volume 6. Akihito spared no expense, leaving things up in the air and making you want that next chapter right now. Thankfully, the next chapter is already out. I just have to wait a week to actually read it. But no, the first thing that I want to bring up right now is last chapter we were introduced to this new character named Faputa, who is the Narehate Princess, the almost leader of this community, it seems, somebody who is praised and idolized. And I'll talk about her character herself in a second, but right now I just want to focus on her connection to Reg and the plot points that we cover in this chapter. The chapter makes it explicitly clear that Reg knew Faputa before he lost his memory and going up to the surface. And we see that explicitly shown in this brief Reg remembers something moment that he's had throughout the entire series, and we see him remembering Faputa, almost crying and saying his name. I assume that might be where he was saying farewell to go up to the surface. The question is now, what is their connection here, guys? This was brought up to me last chapter, but a lot of people said that the mech that Faputa has actually reminded them of Reg, the shape, the blaster. I was skeptical. I was saying, alright, I mean, that kinda, I see what you're saying, but I'm gonna chalk that up to being a coincidence. I'm not gonna speculate on any kind of connection there until I get more information. And what do you know? More information the very next chapter. And honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think that my theory about Faputa just finding this mech is completely inaccurate. I think that she might be the creator of this mech, and not just that mech, but also Reg. Now, I don't know if she's just some kind of engineering genius, so I could be completely wrong about her being the creator, but I have a feeling that Reg and this mech are connected now. During this conversation, Reg brings up a good point though. Faputa refers to Reg as Reg, and he states that that just doesn't make any sense because he received his name from Riko on the surface. How would she have called him that same name before he even went there? And this is where things get really speculative, and I know it has something to do with her, but I can't just figure out what. This is all Liza's doing, man. Liza is the key to all of this. Now, my theory right now, since Riko named Reg after her dog, I think it was intentional that Liza named her dog Reg. Maybe not so Riko would name this robot later on in life that same name, but I do think that that is the connection there, is that Liza named her dog Reg and ended up naming Reg. Or Reg's name was already Reg and Liza named her dog Reg in honor of him. I don't know, dude. Where's the timeline here? What is going on? I can't repeat it enough. Liza is the key to all of this. Liza is connected to Faputa and to Reg. It could be that Liza is the one that found Reg and this mech and gave the mech to Faputa and just found out what to do with Reg. I don't know, dude. There's so much to speculate on. What is going on here? What is this chapter? We'll definitely get more information regarding their backstory, but it is really fun to speculate on because it kind of just throws you for a loop and gives you a lot more context to something that we had no context on previously. Alright, but now let's talk about Faputa's character as a whole. And last chapter we didn't really get much look into her character. We just saw her looking all scary. So I thought that was going to be her design for the majority. But then we just get this adorable shot where she's coming out looking all scary, and then Akihito does this brilliant transition with one panel where she just looks insanely cute. I love how he did that. Oh man, Faputa's design is one of the best in the series so far. I think I have to say, it might even be the best out of our main group. And yes, I'm referring to her as our main group. She is joining us. No question, you're joining us, Faputa. We have to expand Reg's harem. But yeah, I really like how, despite being so adorable, she also has these scary faces when she's getting upset or mad. It's almost like she's a yandere. She almost reminds me of like a bat or a moth. And I wonder why her, of all people, has kept her form the same as Nanachi in the 6th layer when we've seen that you take on the projection of your desires. So many questions, man. But like I said, the main question that I get out of this chapter is just what is this girl's connection with Reg and possibly Liza? When she's inspecting Reg, it's almost like she is the one that created him. Or at least those are the vibes that I'm getting. Like I said, she could totally not be the one that created Reg. But like, I really am getting that kind of vibe, especially with her operating a mech and stuff. I get the feeling that she might be just this really talented engineer who is responsible for this creation. Moving on to the end of the chapter, we get to the second big revelation plot point, and this is the one that could have huge ramifications on the rest of the story. Reg walks out of Faputa's place. He's not getting the answers he wants, and as he's outside, he sees a bunch of name tags and petals falling from the sky. And as he gets a closer look at these name tags, he realizes that this is the Abyss tradition of honoring the dead on the surface, tossing in the name tags and the petals. As we saw in the anime and earlier in the manga, we saw that this was something that they do when one of them has died. The problem is that these name tags are littering the ground and the petals are pretty much non-stop falling from the sky, it seems like. And Reg just remarks, he says, what is going on in the abyss? What is happening? And that made me wonder, what the hell is going up on the surface? Is that birthday death disease killing everybody now? Something is happening for sure, and it definitely, I think, has to do with the 2,000-year cycle and what a lot of you have told me about how we don't even know if the surface is the safest place to be at this point. And this is further shown by what's happening right now. People are dying on the surface. And there's just a tragic scene. Akihito, you bastard, you can't do this. We just get these brief 2 pages, mostly just in pitch black, of Manai talking to her sister about how she wants to go back to the museum. But Shirumi is dead, man. Shirumi is dead, and I feel like Manai might be next. And if you don't remember those characters, Shirumi and Manai were the characters in the bonus page that were talking about the abyssal language. Just, they were precious, and I thought they were safe because they were in the bonus pages. I thought wrong. Akihito, you suck. It was really tragic, and at the same time, just a beautiful and well done scene. Seeing these 2 sisters who value each other above all else. Honestly, I was getting Hunter x Hunter vibes from this scene, and I'm not going to spoil what scene it is, but if you've seen Hunter x Hunter, you know what scene I'm talking about. And it brought back those flashbacks, and honestly, it made me pretty upset. On a more lighter note though, I am happy that I was expecting Akihito to pull some kind of plot twist and say that Nat or Shiggy or Kiwi is dead on the surface, or even Leader. God forbid Leader dying on the surface. Thankfully that didn't happen. Hopefully they are all alive and well. We do know that Kiwi should be safe considering that he left the abyss, and I think that makes him immune to the birthday death disease. So hopefully he's all good, but then again, this whole situation might not even be because of that disease. Moving on to the final revelation in this chapter, the one that I want to talk about, although then again, this, out of all the revelations that we got this chapter, this one could easily be the one that's just throwing us for a loop, and it's actually not even that important. And that is this supposed MIDI 2.0 that is in this village right now. Kaja just remarks to Nanachi about what she values the most and says that there is a MIDI in the village right now who's apparently being used by one of the 3 sages of this village. Now, what the deal with this is, I have no idea. Is this actually MIDI? How is that possible? What is going on here? Akihito is clearly trying to just confuse us. I have a feeling that next chapter we're gonna see this and it's just gonna be nothing, but it does genuinely make me curious what is going on with this MIDI like creature that is apparently in the village. And what's even more interesting is what Kaja says about this MIDI creature. He says, MIDI, the warm bundle of curse that the masked man left behind. What is going on here, guys? I speculated on Bondrewd potentially coming to this village before he went back up to the Edo front. Is this true? In all honesty, I don't think it's Bondrewd. I would actually put money on it either being Sraho or Wakuna. And now that I'm thinking about it, I would put money on it not being MIDI, but I would put money on it being one of the MIDI blobs. Maybe Sraho or Wakuna stole one of them from Edo front and then took it down into the 6th layer when they went in for their last dive. And they might have traded it to this village for value so they could receive something that they wanted from the village, I guess. I don't know. And originally you'd say something like, oh, why would they even trade value here? They're white whistles. They can just destroy the place and take whatever they want. But I don't think that's the case. I think with this curse of the village protecting everyone's value, that even the white whistles are in danger of being destroyed and turned into value for everybody else. So that all makes complete sense to me, and I have a feeling that we'll be seeing a white whistle very soon in the story. But yeah, as for this cliffhanger regarding MIDI, I would put money on that being fake more than anything actually substantial, or at the very least, I wouldn't put money on that actually being MIDI or something connected to Nanachi. But Akihito did his job, he confused me, and I'm speculating on it right now. One final note I want to make about this chapter before we end this review here. We learn about, from Kaja during this MIDI sequence, we learn about the 3 sages who created this village in the first place. Now, I'm not sure what the hierarchy here is. I don't know if the 3 sages are the next step after the princess or if they're even above the princess, but I do think that the 3 sages are the 3 hollows that we saw at the very beginning when we entered this village in the first place. That makes sense to me, and I do wonder what role they will have in the story, if they'll be benevolent or if they'll be antagonistic towards our group, maybe kicking us out of this village if we do something. I don't know. If it really is MIDI, you know Nanachi isn't gonna let one of those sages have her, so we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for this review of Made in Abyss. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was a great chapter, and we are just 2 chapters away from catching up. Yes, it's 2, not 1, because chapter 44 released yesterday. I'm kind of happy I have another chapter to read, so that's gonna be fun. Sorry this video is up a bit late, just got busy with that Violet Evergarden review last night, so I didn't have the time to record this, but you guys don't mind. It's up now, we're good. And one last note, some of you have been asking for a Discord server for this community for a while. I'm happy to say that Jensen has created it. It's been up since I think last night, and it's already been really fun talking to you guys on there, so go ahead and join that Discord server. We have separate channels for Made in Abyss, Hoski, Universe, basically just everything. We have a general discussion too. It's just a fun place to be, and I enjoy talking to you guys on there, so hopefully you join that Discord server if you haven't already. A link will be in the description and in the comments of this video, so go check that out if you're interested. And of course, as usual, have a great day.